When it comes to starting out with DIY or woodworking, it can be pretty expensive to buy tools. There's so many videos on YouTube of people using the best and the most expensive tools, but no one just starting out wants to spend hundreds or thousands on tools. So here's 12 different tools for under £10 each that will get you on track with all your projects. If you're not in the UK, you can still probably get these in your country for just as cheap. The total for these 12 tools and accessories is £87.37. So that works out at only £7.28 each. I'm using Amazon for all of the pricing because it's pretty universal, but you can often get even better deals at your local DIY stores. I'll leave links to a similar product to all of these in the description box down below. First up, we have a sharp handsaw. Obviously, moving forward, you're likely to invest in some power tools, but at first, you're not going to buy yourself a miter saw, a chainsaw, a track saw, jigsaw, circular saw, recip saw. You get the idea. And all of those that I've just shown you are some of the cheapest versions of those tools, and they still add up to a good few £100s. The thing is, with a sharp handsaw, you can do most of what those saws can do, just with a little bit more effort. I usually use Irwin handsaws, which this one actually isn't, but they're cheap and they usually work really well. Next up is a sturdy hammer. I waited far too long using this cheap lightweight hammer before upgrading to a decent 20-ounce one. It makes such a difference for hammering nails with a little bit of weight behind it. You can get a 20-ounce claw hammer just like this for about £8.99 on Amazon. Next up, a Stanley knife, or any brand utility knife to be honest. You can get a fixed blade one for less than £4, or for a little bit more, a retractable one like that. I'd probably go retractable just because you can obviously put the blade away and then you can just stick it in your pocket without stabbing yourself. Some come filled with spare blades. They just go inside and you unscrew, or you can get packs like that of extra blades for just a couple of quid. There's not ever really a project that goes by where I don't use this knife, as you can probably tell from the state of it. And I keep this in the top drawer and my tool drawers for easy access, along with the next two items. Don't waste your time buying a feeble lightweight tape measure. They're really not worth the effort. Get yourself a decent heavy duty set like this. I've got a set of 5 and 8 meter tape measures that I got for just under a tenner. On Amazon, this set that I've got is £10.92, but you can probably pick these up for yourself in a DIY store for a little bit cheaper. These are great for measuring smaller stuff or longer measurements with the 8 meter long tape. A screwdriver set. You can either get yourself a fixed set like this, or a multi-bit set like this where you can just swap the bits over from a bit set. Both of which you can pick up relatively cheaply, and they should cover you for most applications. The benefit with a multi-bit set is if you get yourself an impact driver or a drill, you can use that with these. And I use these and this multi-bit one all the time. And now is a set of pliers. All of my pliers are pretty rough looking, like these, which the plastic handles have fallen off, and these which are a little bit rusty, so you can tell how often these actually get used. You can get yourself a set of 3 a bit like this, which covers most things, for £7.77. I might have to get myself a set to replace these. A rechargeable work light is something that I only recently purchased, and I wish I'd bought it much sooner. I'm constantly using it, and I often leave it in the truck or by the back door so it's easily at hand. You can get yourself a light like this that's got a hook and is magnetic, for about $7.99 on Amazon. It's so handy for all sorts of uses, like just using it as a general torch, giving yourself some extra light, or using it as an inspection light on a car. Definitely worth having one. A square is a handy tool to have in lots of different situations. There's plenty of different types of squares, as you can see, including this much larger roofing square that I've got. But for this video, I've gone for this combination square. This is handy because you can check things are square, use it to measure and to mark measurements on a workpiece. $6.99 for this one is an absolute bargain, and it also has a little spirit level on it, which moves us on nicely to the next tool, which is a small spirit level. These are really handy to have for most homeowners for doing stuff like checking that furniture's level, hanging pictures, or checking if a wall's plumb. Surprisingly, this one is. You can obviously get yourself larger spirit levels like this, but for a beginner, average DIYer, or just an average homeowner, something smaller like this will do you perfectly. Next up is a set of filling knives. These are the only two I can find at the minute. These are great for patching up some holes in the house, as a scraper, or even as a knife in a pinch. You can get yourself a set of 3 in different sizes for just a few pounds. Definitely worth having some in your tool set if you're a beginner DIYer or a homeowner. A good socket set is something that can be extremely useful, but even a cheap set like this can still be fairly expensive. So to save a little bit of money, you can get yourself an adjustable spanner. Beautiful. The one I've linked to is the same as this and can adjust from 0 up to 24 millimeters. That should cover you for most DIY work or a quick fix on your car. The last thing isn't really a tool. Well, I guess technically it's a writing tool, but it's something that I use all the time, and that is Sharpies. Or any decent permanent marker. I'm constantly using these for marking measurements, scribbling down notes. I'm not even sorry. I'm a dad now, I've got a reputation to upkeep. Doing things like touching up tiny little black paint chips without having to obviously repaint stuff, and 1,000,001 other applications. You can get yourself a set of 12 on Amazon for just $8.99, and I definitely think it is worth buying the proper Sharpie ones, because some of the cheap rubbish ones are cheap and rubbish, so they don't last 2 minutes. I picked up 2 packs of these in Lidl recently, and I got 12 Sharpies for £6, so an absolute bargain. So it's definitely worth looking out in supermarkets and other places like that. So like I mentioned at the start of the video, the total for all of these tools, well, similar ones on Amazon, is about £90, just under £90. And they allow you to do so much with them. You can pretty much get by with just these tools for doing the majority of things you're ever going to do, just as a simple DIYer or a homeowner. They're definitely worth the money, and to be honest, the majority of these I couldn't really live without. So if you've liked this video and it's helped you out, give it a like, subscribe to the channel because it really does help the channel grow, and I'll see you in the next one.